Hey guys, and welcome to the Go Mango Anime Cast. This time we're going to be doing our first impressions of the Winter 2018 anime lineup. Not all of them, but just the ones that we watched and thought were interesting. I'm your host Makotoa, and with me today we have...
The Cinder Blaze.
And Strangers.
Alright, you guys, we, surprisingly, this season we've got quite a few that we watched. Some of us didn't watch all of the same ones, but at least two of us watched whichever particular one we go over on this list. Yeah. So before we start, though, we wanted to sort of make a little bit of an announcement or whatever, pretty much saying that sorry for the delay in some of our anime cast episodes, and we'll talk more about it at the end. Also, quick mention with the whole YouTube monetization type stuff. Whatever happens, we'll probably upload a video about it sometime later in the future, but we're not going anywhere, long story short. So, at any rate, let's dive right in. How about I list them out first for the audience, and then we start with the first one on the list. So, we've got Junji Collection, Grancrest Senki. Sorry, Senki. We have Pop Team Epic. We've got Kokkoku, Violet Evergarden.
Coconuts. Yeah.
Violet Evergarden. Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens, and Darling in the FranXX. Obviously, that one's going to be on there. At any rate, let's start with the Junji collection. I believe only myself and Jordan, Strange Words, saw this particular one. I haven't watched episode 2 since this recording. I believe it's out, but we're just going to do our first impressions of mainly the first episodes that have aired. So, what do you think, Jordan?
You know, I've never actually read any of the collections. Like, Junji's got a pretty notable reputation, so... it was always in the back of my mind to, go and read some of his work someday, but I'm just like, yeah. And this anime popped up, like, you know what? Might as well.
Might be time.
I was a little bit leery at first because it's horror. I'm just like, well, I've seen some pretty bad stuff. Maybe it'll spook me real bad. But then it was, gosh, the best way I can put it is more like folk tales than like straight up horror.
And this particular episode was a little bit more like horror comedy, honestly, because the current focus in this episode, the kid, he's so like delusional, and it does make for kind of like more funny stuff than the actual like horror aspect of it, which I did see some people saying that like, when he's the focus, which he isn't always the focus, he's only part of this collection, that it does become like a different genre. It becomes like a kind of horror comedy, but that in other episodes, which I haven't seen yet personally, it becomes more horror than comedy.
The second episode is definitely more horror than comedy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought it was enjoyable. I don't know what else to think, really. Like, I do like having those kind of nail biters or scary ones like every once in a while.
There wasn't anything ultra scary. I'm hoping there'll be something that just like, oh man, spooks me.
So I'll probably keep up with it to some degree, but I don't know if it will be.
When you're like, I'll keep up to like, some degree. You're not
to some degree, I mean, I kept up with Garo to some degree last season, and I'm on like episode 8 or 9 right now because I kind of binged a few. So like, I think it's a fair assessment that
I'm probably gonna keep update with it because I've been curious about it, and if I get more interested, I'll probably just go and binge read through the manga. But this is just I'm just taking it slow with this because it's decent. So
yeah,
it's actually pretty good. Decent's a little bit.
Also, the ending theme is really good. I almost forgot to mention that. Really good.
Do not remember the openings and endings, but that's mostly because I kind of just don't watch.
If anything, watch the ending for this show.
Okay.
That's my recommendation, right?
Okay.
At any rate, let's move on to another one. So we don't keep this video too long.
Yep.
We have Grancrest Senki, apparently.
Senki.
Yeah. Grancrest Senki, which is pretty much like kind of basic-ish fantasy anime with
like
potential.
The warlord theme, basically you have like a young lord who, for a change isn't like actually some bodacious teenage girl for once. But it was like a really kind of like standard shonen in a way.
Yeah.
The lords are like contracted to mages, and that sets up like a bit of more differentiating aspect to like the other series of this genre. And I was like, first episode, it was all right. Like,
yeah, it got to the point. That's what I liked, was that like we didn't mince too much words. Like we did some world building, and then we got straight to the point. It's like, oh, you look like a suitable person I can manipulate. I mean, you look like a suitable lord. I'll join. Let's make a contract. It's just like that little creature from Madoka Magica. Let's make a wish, make a contract.
Yeah, except not nearly as malicious.
Yeah. I liked the animation. I think the action in this episode was pretty good too. I do believe it has potential, and it's not going to be held back by the budget, I don't think, at least.
Yeah, like in my opinion, it feels like an anime that has like a solid start but doesn't really get anywhere, and it'll just die off because nothing happens.
I hope that does. We can only hope for the best, but like, yeah, it is kind of one where it's potential. Can't say one way or another whether it's going to be good or not. It didn't like hook me super strongly. It's not like, whoa, these characters, I need to see what happens next. It wasn't like freaking Tokyo Ghoul episode 1 where he goes freaking ballistic and you're like, oh my gosh, what happens to this poor kid in the next episode?
Yeah, like they're mildly likable characters. Like they don't have something that just like really grabs you to them.
Yeah, we didn't get too deep into them. I think we got a little bit more world building than anything else in the first episode.
Yeah, like our main protagonist is just a regular, guy with good morals and stuff like that.
Yeah, he doesn't even like seem like he's really kingly. He just kind of happened to have noble blood or something, and so he's got a crest.
Yeah,
which I thought that was a cool concept, actually.
And he was like trying to just be the leader of his own village, just so he can secure, their status. And like he has a really small goal, while like his mage has like probably bigger plans ahead. As they kind of foreshadowed in the beginning, because like we had two huge ass crests combining together, and she was like there to witness it, and just to see like them with like their small crests and just like slowly building up to something of that scale.
Yeah. Also, by the way, that idiot who stopped her at the beginning is the reason why those people died. Like solely his fault. Solely 100% his fault. Remember at the beginning when she was running in to go stop the like a portal from erupting?
Yeah. I mean, there might have been like other stuff that we don't know yet, so I'm gonna forgive.
Well, I don't know.
Something
later in the episode when they did like the flash forward to like further on, he's still hanging out with her, and he's like, if I hadn't stopped you at that time, like he was even regretting it. So I'm just like, yeah, you goofed. But I don't know. That was the probably biggest glaring flaw to me that I didn't like about it.
I don't know. Like when we have like those kind of unknown, like evil type of things. There's so much that can like go wrong that we don't even know what we're doing.
I guess she could have also gotten stuck behind that barrier and then killed, but
yeah, like it could have been something beyond her, and we don't know that as the audience, and she doesn't know that either. So
I guess you're right.
At the very beginning, I'm gonna forgive that, but
okay.
I don't think there's much more to say for this.
No, not really.
Yeah,
I think we can move on to the next one. Let's see. What do we have on the list? Puppy People. I mean,
oh my god.
Pop Team Epic. Hey, the show even pronounces it off a lot of the time. Okay. So
No, I don't think they pronounce it off. They just pronounce it differently each time.
Team Epic. Wow. What a show that is nothing like an anime.
Hey, no, the first 2 minutes.
Oh my
baby.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, when they kind of like throw that that fake out thing.
That curb. I had to check to see if it like was the wrong show.
Yeah, like
because I was like, wait, I'm confused. Is this what random basic like, harem did I accidentally click on?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is something that I would probably watch. And there's like, nope, just rip that up. Just get the actual stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like Nichijou, where they have a lot of fun with the animation. Like the animation itself kind of serves as a punchline at times.
Yeah, like when the animation goes completely like derp-tard.
Or
just becomes, like, amazing
out of nowhere.
Or just amazing. I think my favorite part of the first episode was the beef or chicken. Beef or chicken? Beef or chicken? And then... and she's like, your life has been spared this time. In the male voice, too. That's the best part.
Wait. Actually, here's the real question. Which voice did you like? The 2 male voices or the female and male?
That was so weird because
I
half the time in the second... half the time in the second part of it, I thought it could pass for a female for one of them. But then like in this... I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like, and then... I don't know. How would we even review this show if we decided to review it? Because this show already has a ton of memes. Like,
the show
it's
is
writing.
A meme.
The show actually is a meme.
It is a meme. It's multiple memes that have like, I mean, it's riding waves on the internet right now. And so of course we needed to at least address it here. I think it's probably going to be one of the standouts just because of how ridiculous it is this season.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to retain an audience as well. It's like that first, like when they hit you with the jokes, it's going to get you. Yeah. But it's not something I'm going to be like looking forward to every week because it's...
I'm going to look forward to every week because it's ridiculous.
I can't help but like, if I see that the new episode's out when I hop onto Crunchyroll, I'm going to like go for it because it's a 15-minute like real quick fix, you don't have to watch the whole thing since it's apparently a trend that it just does the same thing every time.
No, it does it again. However, here's the thing, you can never be sure because there's a chance they just
my gosh,
do a full episode one day and then
you're right, they probably will just to mess with us.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, you never know. They might actually change something very slightly, and then repeat that for 8 episodes.
Oh no!
And call it RP season 2.
No.
Oh no!
They won't do that.
Endless 8. Oh my god! I wouldn't doubt them referencing it at some point.
Yeah, they pulled a lot of references I didn't really expect at this time.
Yeah, like the freaking Skyrim one. And that was less than like 2 seconds, it felt like, but just enough where you were just, oh my goodness, they did.
Yeah.
There's also a really good Chrono Trigger reference.
Oh, was that one of those like sci-fi looking ones?
That was the pendant short.
Oh, where she's like, oh, I guess I'll just, I have no choice but to give it to you. Not. And then she just disintegrates her like. Yep. In a sphere of energy.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a very RPG looking thing. I just didn't know what it was from.
Oh my gosh, okay, maybe not. Maybe this was my favorite part. But the part where like he's like, does this hurt? How about now? And they're punching and then like the sound effects get crunchier and meatier every time.
She like dumps her in some like food processing plant.
Yeah. How about now? Oh my gosh, this show. I don't know what else to say about it really. But we good.
Well, like this is actually one of the best anime this season.
Oh, this.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Okay.
At least.
I definitely suggest you at least watch the second episode because it just keeps with the trend of
bizarreness.
Yeah, bizarreness. Yeah. Kokkoku and Peep-Me's Bizarre Adventure. One might say no. I'm pretty sure that's gonna that reference at least is gonna show up eventually.
They're gonna get it. Yeah,
like 100%.
I can see it. Now.
Yeah.
All right. Continuing on, let's talk about probably the least, I would say, memorable. I think of the ones we've done. Kokkoku, which is like kind of this sort of, I don't know, would you call it murder mystery?
I don't.
Not really. It's like,
I don't. It's almost been erased from my memory, even though I watched it about 20 minutes ago.
It's got a like really like late game time travel mechanic going on, and
is it like Erased?
No, it's not like Erased. It's not good like well, I mean, till the end, but I don't know what to say about this one. This one has character, like it's got this old man. It's got like his garbage son that doesn't do anything, and she's like, her mom's dead and she's taking care of the kid, and or something like that, or her sister, I don't remember, but it's like these characters that are very like non-protagonisty, and then they get their little rock, and then they do the time traveling thing, and then some creepy demon shows up, and like there's another group of time travelers who seem to have used this as bait to hunt down this guy and his family, and so it seems like it would be an interesting premise, but it just felt really slow.
I wouldn't.
So slow that neither of you seem to remember it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I remember. Oh man, girl gets touched by spooky ghost thing, and now she can move into frozen time. And then everything just goes blurry after that.
She goes Zavalda. No. But I know that Guguk will probably make some kind of comment like that to it if it ever gets mentioned. It probably won't though, because it's
always in the back of everyone's mind though.
Yeah.
Whenever
so
anyone
far,
freezes time.
this show has nothing like going for it besides that time travel stuff, and it's not enough to keep it afloat. I might give it a second episode try, but beyond that, if it doesn't hook me, I'm gonna just drop this one.
Yeah, that seems like a series, like the way guys are describing it, that's better off as a manga or a book, because it has like way too much stuff that it wants you to, or it can't. It's not a good way to like tell you what the world's about, Yeah. There's no like just paragraph text just so you can just understand everything at once,
I mean, it's more like just character interactions, so, but just building their kind of like home structure, I suppose. I don't know. I don't have much to say about it other than that.
Hey, let's move on to one of the hot anime this season.
Yeah, one of the really highly
the hot anime that's probably going to get stunted because it's behind the Netflix cage, and the dub probably won't air for. I mean, the legal streamings in America won't air for a while, for months, until they finish the dub. But the sub is out if you can find it somewhere else. But yeah, so Violet Evergarden. Wow, that is a freaking eye candy, pretty animation show.
Yeah, Kyoto Animation always does this. With like in the first episode, they always show off how good they are at certain things, like their backgrounds are just phenomenal at times.
Well,
and just
here's where I knew that Kyoto's just like, we're just gonna spend just have all the budget, just all of it. Is when I'm looking at the jewel and it's just sparkling content. It's like, what? That is literally just a random jewel.
Also, just like down to the subtlety of certain motions of the characters.
Everything
it's
seems
it's
really
like the
fluid.
character designs that always give it away for Kyoto.
Oh yeah, the character designs are well, I mean, they're super detailed too. Like,
No,
there's
like,
so much. There's a lot of lines in the hair, but it doesn't like clutter it up because it's all really thin. So it just looks like there's so much going on. Like, I could go back and rewatch the episode and just stare at some of the background animations because there's actual background animations. There's other characters that are being animated that are there in the background, blurred out, and yet they're still 2D animated. I noticed that. I'm like, wow, that's kind of a waste. Because, like, you just see the silhouette of this thing, but I can tell it's still 2D animated. Somebody put effort into that. Shadows and lines, and it's just, you don't even get to see it unless you're looking for it. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't let animation, like, slip. Even though it's not, like, important, they still keep it there, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I'm always confused. I'm like, what if you had this sort of animation budget behind a, let's say a battle anime? Well, come on, let's go.
Battle's hella expensive and takes a lot of planning to do.
Yeah, but what if you just had just a massive budget? I'd love to see that. But unfortunately, that's very rare.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested by the plot. I do like the setting, the time period. She seems to have had at least some kind of special talent or powers or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I think it was some sort of a mutant child soldier sort of thing, but
so she's like freaking Captain America. Except
sure, but without emotions. Yeah.
But without emotions and robot arms. So she's Bucky Barnes. Just kidding.
Yeah. Like, one thing I really liked about this is it had like the whole post-war thing going for it really well. And actually, that's like a weird way to put it, but like the way they showed like the aftermath of her being in the war, they kind of just like they shove it in the flashbacks and they don't have it consume the episode. Because what mattered in this episode was just like establishing where she is right now and like how she's kind of like moving on with her life. And we had like a majority of the episode just like fall into that, while we still had like the sprinkles of her past just to set up the whole world.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed that. Like, that she has someone who's most likely dead. And that's kind of like a mystery. They kind of like hook the audience a little bit. And we also have, when they show like the robot arm, like, they didn't really go into
those
it. Like,
arms, right? Yeah.
They didn't go into it too much, but we know that it's like in a world which isn't like ours because they have.
Yeah, it has to be, because there's no way you could have moving arms like that.
Yeah.
Even though they're still like not fully functional, it's still more than anything at that time that they could have had.
Yeah, but it gives like the writers like more freedom in terms of like the technology that they have in this situation and like in this world.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
It was like, it's like a small detail that allows them to world build a lot more like efficiently without like telling us like everything,
Keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing about it. I don't know how much I actually enjoyed it because it was really pretty. I don't know how much of my enjoyment just came from the fact, like, oh man, that looks really neat.
Yeah, just because like the main female's like pretty or something.
Well, it's not even the main female. It's just like everything just looks nice.
Yeah, like that post office place looks like super nice.
It's just like, man, it's good stuff.
Yeah, and I was like delivering mail, like, or putting mail in like the other week, and that office looks so run down and shit. And you see like this
I wish we could have old school post offices back. That'd be so nice.
Well, we do have post offices. They're just
old school, fancy. And by old school, I mean I don't even know if that's how old school post office look, but I want that idealized post office. But anyways,
I'm definitely going to watch more of it. I'm interested to see where it's going, and it's the most visually appealing of all of the shows out right now, besides maybe the last one.
Ancient Bride, but that's because it's continuing.
Oh, frick, Ancient Match.
Yep.
See, I've been stalled on that one because I was watching it with a friend, and our times where we're available to watch are both like just in conflict with each other,
Yeah.
So. But anyways, continuing on, because I love Ancient Magic. I'm done.
Ancient Magus Bride.
Ancient Magus Bride. Can't even pronounce it right. Jeez. Okay,
I mean, you still
next
did it,
one.
but we're moving on.
Next one on our list is Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens. And don't be fooled, the entire first episode doesn't make a single mention of ramen. I don't know what that means in the title. If adding an S to the end of it makes it a completely different word.
Very possibly.
Probably, yeah. It looked to me in the trailers like it was a Durarara ripoff, or at least trying to pull that kind of same vibe or feel. I definitely felt it watching the episode, even though the entire like plot is very different when you start getting into it. I think Alex, you watched it as well, correct?
I watched most of it, and then it just bored me because like the character was so off-putting. It's not just because he's like a cross-dresser and he's like insane. It's just kind of like pushing that like right into my face.
He's kind of a jerk and not very endearing in any way. Jordan, you didn't watch this one, right?
I didn't watch it because I looked at the PV and I'm like, well, this is what is supposed to draw me in?
Yeah, it's fine. So apparently this is a show about a city with 3% of its population being assassins, and so there's this kind of like, there's a market for them apparently. And so one of our characters is a detective, one of our characters is a cross-dressing assassin, and one of our characters is like a noob, like a fresh, I don't know, it was really bizarre seeing this like endearing type of I'll do my best, sir, you can count on me type guy as apparently trying to pursue a life as an assassin and murdering people,
Oh, I didn't get that far.
Oh, you didn't even get that far. So that that did not bode well with me, because I mean, he didn't even get a chance to try and murder somebody. He did come to the point where he was hiding in the house, and it was like this conflict in his mind, like, am I really going to be able to murder somebody? But it didn't feel like it was his moral like code that he was about to break. It was more like, am I actually going to be able to pull it off or something? I don't know. Like, it was more of, is he up for the job physically or capable like of doing it, rather than like, can I let myself do this horrible thing?
All right, are his motivations like more tied to the plot, or are they tied to his character?
To his character, because he didn't seem to have anything to do with the plot as it was. He just kind of like,
no, like, is him trying to kill someone a thing of the plot, or like something that that character would be doing?
It's just for his character to try and like get a job in the city. This was his first job. It didn't even like seem to connect to the main plot yet. It probably will in the next episode, but so far he was just kind of his own thing that they just suddenly switch to every once in a while. I guess, they're trying to be like Durara, where they follow a bunch of different people in the city, and then like their lives converge every once in a while, and then weird stuff happens. But so far it's been within the realm of reality. There hasn't been any kind of like spiritual or supernatural type forces yet. So that's, I don't remember if I read in the description that those are things that happen, but so far it's just a bunch of assassins, and none of them really none of the characters seem to be very stand out likable. Maybe the detective is the most likable character. He pops a balloon to try and like get some there was some kind of like not protest, but the governor was giving a little speech in this park and trying to rally people to reelect him, and he had some bodyguards around him, or a secretary or whatever, and she was just standing there. And so he pops a balloon from one of these like stands that's selling them, and it sounds like a gunshot apparently. And so he was looking for the reactions of all the people around the governor to see if, oh yeah, that girl reacted more like an assassin than a bodyguard or a secretary. So that's how I determined that he's up to no good and he's corrupt and all that jazz. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but I don't like your characters. Something about it feels like it's really trying hard to get that Durarara feel and to get the kind of same interest or intrigue, but none of the characters are really that interesting or likable. And you know, I was also thinking Alex probably isn't going to get much out of this because there's no female character that's like you're actually interested in, because the quote female character is just a cross-dressing dude that's kind of an a-hole. And then the only females I remember was the secretary, who is by no means a main character at all, and she's probably an antagonist too. And then like this tiny little girl that helps an old man kidnap an assassin.
Oh, I'm more interested in that character now.
Yeah, I knew that was probably going to be the most interesting thing part of it to you, but that was like right at the very end. So like, I don't know where this show's gonna go. I like Kokkoku or Kokkoku or whatever actually.
Coconuts, yeah.
Kokkoku, the time traveling one, that actually might, you know, because it might be a slow burn, but it gets better. I don't know what to think of this one. Tonkotsu Ramens, like it was a disappointing episode.
Well, then let's just move on to a good one, because you sound very pained talking about this.
I'm sorry.
Let's move on to the really good one.
Yes, let's move on to probably one of the better ones this season. Obviously, one of the better ones.
One of the best ones this season. Don't understand. No, okay. I guess it's taste based, but
Studio Trigger, I believe.
Studio
right?
Trigger, yes.
Studio Trigger. Darling in the Franxx.
Nope.
We didn't really have a lot of information going into it, but that was cool because you kind of went in blind, and it just, wow, this is already a cool premise. This is already a cool, you know, characters for the two, I guess, protagonists, the two leads.
Yeah.
I'm ready for more. I'm already ready for more. Like, I ate this episode up, and I'm like, all right.
Good action, good designs. Really good designs.
Really good designs. I really love the lion mode, and then how it turned into that, like, sort of, what did they call it again? Iron Fortress Maiden or something like that?
I think there's a proper word for it, but I can't remember right now. Not Valkyrie, is it? It can't be that.
I don't
feels
think so.
wrong.
Well, it's just they're mechs.
Yeah. No, but the proper form of the mech, according to Mr. Science.
Yes, indeed. And we have these creatures that I can't even remember what they were called. It was like some sort of cross between, like, it had an X in it, but it also had "sore" at the end.
Yeah, some kind of like dinosaur shit.
Yeah,
Gearsaur, let's go Gearsaur now.
Something like that. And I thought those designs were super cool too.
Yeah, the freaking enemy design was amazing. Like, at first I'm just like, it looked all right, but then when it do the beam attack, that just looked so amazing.
Dude, when it was happening, like where like she was in the lion mech, and then it was attacking with the laser, I straight up thought, what is this, like, legendary Pokemon battle? Because it looked like he was friggin' Solgaleo. She was Solgaleo, and then it looked like the way the tail ended up looking reminded me of freaking Zekrom. Yeah. It was like, whoa, we got massive Pokemon battles now, and he's about to do some damage, which it only made it better for me, honestly. But you know, and they had a nice little, you know, poetry type rhymey. It's like, oh, you know, there's a certain kind of bird that only has one wing, and it can't live on its own unless it has a partner. And that's kind of like the whole theme where you've got it's a 2-man team type mech situation, sort of like Pacific Rim.
Except it's only male and female.
Only male and female.
I mean, I like when, like, Studio Trigger does stuff like this, when they kind of just like throw out like something about the universe. Like, remember in Gurren Lagann, it was like the spiral energy, and then in Kill la Kill, it was like the life fibers, whatever they're called. And that's one that's just like, it's like the whole system where these mechs work, and it's like that's the thing that exists in this universe, and then we're just gonna play with it, and then it's gonna go like batshit crazy in the finale.
Yeah. So yeah. This mechanic is couple, like, you know, just putting a boy and a girl in the room to get alone together, you know.
Yeah, like, it was a very textbook, like, Studio Trigger first episode, and like, it didn't impress me too much, by my standards for like this studio, but I don't know. I still liked it a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one thing though is the female pilots are called pistols, as in plant pistols. Yeah, something that needs to be noted because there are directions this can go.
I thought they were called parasites.
I
thought the males were pistols or something.
No, I'm pretty sure the females are pistols.
Are you a parasite?
Except
I think
parasite.
They're both parasites.
Yeah, both of them are parasites because they're both piloting the mech. I think that's a generic name for the mech pilots, and then pistols are for which gender is the pilot.
Oh.
Yeah.
At least that's my assumption.
What was the male called then?
I'm assuming it's called Stamen.
Yeah, but we didn't get that in this episode. I don't believe so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shoot.
How do you guys feel about the protagonist, though? I felt like he was actually more interesting than a lot of shonen protagonists in their first episode.
I have to agree. Like, at first he was just kind of basic, but then as you got a little bit more into him, I liked that he didn't hesitate too much. I really hate it when when they take forever to decide, and sometimes they really like to drag it out where they're
literally it's when they're on the ground and just like
Yeah. No, my favorite part is that after he just almost died, he sees 02 come up in her mech. He's like, you know what? I'll pilot that, even though I just saw a guy get his lower torso destroyed piloting with you. I'm just like, you know what?
I mean, it was almost this kind of morbid type, decision, because he's like, I don't belong anywhere anyway, so what does it matter?
It's like,
it was almost this very almost
very resigned sort of piloting. He's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go in there, maybe die, but you know what?
I don't know if our protagonist had suicidal tendencies, but I wouldn't doubt it with that kind of with his reasoning that he gave. Is
I wouldn't say he's suicidal. I'll say he's a martyr.
A
martyr? I feel like he just doesn't care about his life. He feels like these kids feel like they're from an orphanage or something. So they have no connections, and they're set up that way. So they feel like they're super expendable. Oh wait, they are from the orphanage because they did say that.
Yeah, they are.
They did. And also, by the way, rest in peace, childhood love interest.
Hey, there's a chance. She comes back as a villain, fused with with one of the enemy things.
Yeah,
you're right. Not gonna lie, you're right. Watch, you probably just predicted it just with knowing your.
I wouldn't be surprised because it's a pretty neat thing to do, but
it would be.
Yeah.
It was very pretty.
Very good, very pretty. Good fan service. Good fan service. Can't be neglected.
Oh right, that's right. She just was swimming around nude in the salt water. Honestly, when she grabbed his tear with her finger, I thought she was gonna lick it and be like, tastes like the ocean, because there were so many
just start sucking
ocean
on his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm glad that was done tastefully. It's the fan service of that. We're just pushing it in my face.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think we're good. Any last remarks?
Yeah, have fun on your raid, Jordan.
Okay. Well, I think that just about wraps it up for us. We're probably going to deliberate later and figure out which shows we're going to stick with personally, and also which show or shows we're going to actually review. Yes, that's right, folks. We're actually going to review at least one of these regularly.
Anime Cast is at least going to double its quantity of releases.
Indeed. We're going to have Boruto and at least one more show from this season. So look forward to that. It's probably going to be one of the ones we just talked about. Holy crud, I totally forgot we watched another show and we didn't even talk about it last minute because it wasn't in this list. But we'll talk about it another time because we are running pretty long on this one. We don't want to make it too long. So, thanks for watching. I think for our regulars and subscribers who made it this long, just a lot going on with personal situations where we weren't able to get the Boruto stuff out in a timely manner. But we're going to strive to make it as consistent as possible from here on. So we apologize for our tardiness, but we plan to get back on track with that. So please, how does it go? Please understand, or how did Miyamoto from Smash Bros. Please understand. Anyways. Yeah. I remember it was a Nintendo meme for a while.
Anyways.
But, yeah. Thanks for bearing with us. We'll have more content coming your way soon with our... Oh, should I spoil it? Toku Week? I don't know.
Just end the episode.
With Pato Ranger just around the corner. So, if you're into Toku, look forward to that as well. At any rate, we've got our social medias in the description. Likes, comments, subscribes, especially the subscribes nowadays, because apparently those are the only way you get that monetization now with 1,000 of those. At any rate, we will catch you guys next time.
See ya. Oh, sorry.
See ya.